Good morning. Uh, so, as usual, we go to a kind of continuing class. So, maybe we no need to talk too much on the preliminary subject. But always those preliminary subjects are kind of a part of the, foundation of a rest of the practice. So it's necessary every day. Like a Lord Jidesumgun basically said, every stage of the path, complete step of that path is a necessity every single session. So within the one session, you need the complete stage of the path. So in the Digoka tradition, complete stage of the path is called the 5-4 path of the Mahamudra. Because in the we are Vajrayana, in the Vajrayana, first within the refuge and necessary to generate the bodhicitta. Once you generate the bodhicitta, then yourself transforming to the deity, personal or whatever deity you practicing in the Digungaji tradition. Main deity is a Chakra and a Vajrayogini. Then within the state of the deity, we visualizing the guru, from whom you receive the blessings. So that's why Guru Yoga. Then actually, Mahamudra is the part of the deity yoga. In the deity yoga, there's called the generation stage and a completion stage. So also Guru Yoga too. So completion stage itself called a completion stage with the sign and without the sign. So in the with the sign, there's called the Tumu meditation, wind channel bindu. As a Tumu meditation is the actually the Vajrayana is the Tumu meditation. So through the Tumu meditation too, you will gain some kind of experience. It's called that experience is called actually wisdom. So Tumu is called the symbolic wisdom of the Tumu experience is called the symbolic wisdom. Through this symbolic wisdom, and you have a direct realization of the actual wisdom. So that is that experience of the actual wisdom as a name, as a Mahamudra. So that is the come, then a conclusion with the dedication. So this is called the fivefold path of the Mahamudra, Bodhicitta, deity yoga, Guru yoga, Mahamudra itself, and dedication. So this stage, 5 stage of the path is a necessary. Even you recite the one mantra. When you recite the one mantra, for example, you recite the Genesis Om Mani Padme Hum. You need that mantra is motivated by the bodhicitta. Your main intention is supported by the bodhicitta. With the bodhicitta too, then yourself transform to the Avalokiteshvara, and the crown of you. Your guru as a form of Amitabha, and then when you recite in the mantra, through the recitation of a mantra, you will have a complete what called that meaning of the mantra itself is a union of the emptiness and the sound. So that emptiness and the sound of the union is called the Mahamudra. Then you dedicate it. So with this, even one recitation of mantra, you need all those fivefold path of the Mahamudra. So the reason Lord Jidasunghu said, you know, Dharma practitioner within the one session must must have complete stage of the path. So that way, I think last week I used as a virtue as a beginning, virtue as a middle, and a virtue as an end. And today we use as a fivefold path of Mahamudra. Actually, meaning is the same. Now today, I think we are number 30. The is that not taking the teaching to heart through the practice is like a sound of an echo. It's empty and without a meaning. Therefore, apply your mind to the Dharma. This is my heart's advice. So now it's what does the practice mean? Actually, when come to the practice, Dharma practice, it's not necessarily only talking about what we think, just sit down and kind of like a nice dress and, just try to chant some mantra or some prayer. It's not only that one, it's Dharma practice. Dharma practice is basically as you have to live your life as according to the Dharma. So that way, from the morning, wake up to even go to bed is related to the Dharma. So that way, Milarepa said, when I meditate, when I'm eating, I meditate when I'm walking, I meditate when I'm sleeping. I think whatever we do, our livelihood should change and live as according to the Dharma. So then it's become a Dharma practitioner. Otherwise, I mean, if this only we think as a Dharma practice as some recitation or mantra, and you said, oh, I have done mantra, I have done this retreat, I have done this much recitation mantra, and there are so many lists. Our list is increasing, but our personality is not changing, nothing improving. Then we're not really Dharma practitioner. We're almost like a YouTube, just playing how many viewer, same way to how many time we play. So we become almost like a YouTube to counting how many times. So YouTube, you can see how many times they play, number. So it's not different than YouTube. Since we not take in our heart that Dharma as a. So how to take in our heart is it like before Buddha's teachings, people think drinking alcohol is okay. But since there's a false come out, then Buddha said drinking alcohol is really bad, shouldn't drink. So then we learn it's not good. So now on, we stop drinking alcohol. So things like that, before Buddha comes, most of people have not knowledge that much about the 10 non-virtue, why we have to avoid the 10 non-virtue, including like war, fighting and this all the. But when Buddha said those 10 non-virtue is the mainly causing us to suffering. So by learning from the Buddha's advice to then slowly change our livelihood from negative to positive. So that is a really truly Dharma is an impact to your life. Like I can give you one example in the Tibetan culture. Before Dharma comes in the Tibetan culture, if you men, especially men, if men die in the home on the bed or from the sick or whatever, as if somebody died like that, and people treat as a wasteful life, because it just died without the meaning. But if someone is died in the war and fighting with the war, if died, then they call them this person is a hero, died with a meaningful life. But now, since the Dharma introduced in the Tibet, if Tibetan believe if somebody died on the bed peacefully, it's a really wonderful death. But if somebody died under the weapon, some kind of like any weapon or accident or something badly, then the people said, oh, this person had a really horrible death. So I think fundamentally change how comes, how thinking way, livelihood included. So I think that what practice. So if you can change that way, even you don't not doing any kind of control or anything, you are actually doing the control. If you are actually practicing the dharma. So I mean, would we can say lots of things, but it's not necessarily what we know is that we are practicing. We are following with that. Yeah. So there was someone said, you listen what I advise, but don't do what I do. So it means that person who give advice to other people to what should do, what should they do, but he himself cannot follow with that. So that way, then it's not really become a Dharma practitioner. So the Dharma practice means that we have to take in our life, whatever we learn, lesson is to take in life. Then it's from there to we can change our life to one day we can become complete of actually practice. If nothing is changing in our life, our emotionally thinking, how to fundamentally our mind how change not how if not see the sign of change coming, then this is not really called the Dharma practice as a impacting impact, yeah. Impact. Yeah, impacting in your life. So in the Tibetan, we when practitioner, we have a greeting, like Rishi said, Tudampel. It means that actually what it means saying is increasing your meditation or your practice. So there is one master said, when you have your devotion is increasing, that is the sign of a Tudampel. When you have a pure perception, like you see more and more good things on other as your sign of your like a success of your practice, and when you have a renunciation, deeper and deeper, stronger renunciation, that is a sign of your practice, accomplishing your practice. So things like that, if change coming from within your mind, within your can say fundamentally. Yeah, within your fundamentally, if change is coming, that means the Dharma is working with you. So so otherwise, I mean, overall, where we practicing Dharma is become a better person. So how this better person is there is one Indian master said, when you learn humanly Dharma, you can learn spiritually Dharma. Or you mean that when you learn humanly Dharma, reaching to the state of the God is not, divine stage is not far. It means the samadhis. Once you reach to the state of the God, higher spirit, yeah, higher realization of the spirit of God, then liberation or the nirvana is not too far. So that way. So that reason, first is I think our sign of a practice of Dharma is really helping or not is how much change to yourself become good human being or not. If you are, all the bad sign of the being bad human beings, like always harmful to other, always be jealousy, always be, that self-centered, then if those are still there, that means that your Dharma is not really working. Like you take medicine, it's not infecting anything of your disease. and they're just wasting time, So then actually then shouldn't do practice Dharma, because it causes us to more increasing our ego, our pride, our all those negative jealousy, then not really helping to becoming ourselves as a better person. So that reason, this what is mean the saying is a saying is a take teaching to the heart through practice, mean that way. Otherwise, I don't know how to take the teaching through the heart. What it means is you may think the kind of recite the mantra to you gain some kind of supernatural power. That is not really, because supernatural power evil one have. Like even the hungry ghosts have great supernatural power. Lots of spirit have a great supernatural power. So that is not really big deal for once if it's not helping to ourselves to become a better person. Better person mean thinking a positive way, and when we think a positive way, it makes us our more happier. So I think that is how as mean the good practitioner or not good practitioner as this way. So my own, I mean, I've been with the Buddhist community for since I was a bird, but my, this many years and understand is if someone is truly become a Dharma practitioner, that person become really humble. True practitioner, they never gain their arrogance. We have one Lama in Tibet. He's much younger than me, but he was great. So sometime in Tibetan tradition, especially East Coast Tibetan tradition, they like to wear really fancy clothes. Really fancy clothes, that like expensive, like a kind of like those colorful, expensive clothes. Even monks, they like to wear those things. So, brigade. So he is really humble. If you look him, you can see as he's just ordinary kind of simple monk. So then that around the monastery, people inviting that he wear really simple clothes. I met him a few times, always the same person. And then recently I see his picture, same type of clothes he's wearing, And so then when people inviting the monks and him, and the people misunderstood that the monks are the Lama because they wearing fancy clothes. So they try to go to receive blessing from them, not from the. They got to really embarrass the monk themselves, and slowly, all the monks change their clothes, become like him. So like this, a true practitioner become a more like humble, more down to the earth, more. Then you can call the kindness, care, and this and that. You can say there all those comes. So I think that is what is mean the taking teaching. Taking teaching to the heart, So not to the body or not to the name or not to. So I think overall is it. And also lots of those great teachers, when you ask to them, lots of time they said, no, I don't know, I cannot do this and that. But someone advised me in the West, you cannot say that one. If you say that one, then people take literally. It means that you know nothing, So you have to be careful. So I don't know that you have to adopt that culture too. But still, you sorry, I talked too long. Number preliminary, I think should be add here, Dharma. 4 preliminary Dharma are like the foundation of the building. Without them, nothing can be perfect. Therefore, cherishing persistence, recollection. This is my heart's advice. So 4 preliminary practice or 4 preliminary Dharma, as we always say, come to the Dharma practitioner. If you really want to truly want to practice correctly or, without the mistakenly, then you must practice as a four preliminary practice, four preliminary dharma. Like in our tradition, we go to the retreat. Retreat always start with this four preliminary practice, before you do the ngonjo. Otherwise, if you do ngonjo without the understanding of this four preliminary practice, our intention may change, So then whatever we do dharma practices, it can become a really concern. So that way, and it's called the wrong path, mistaken path can become mistaken path. So how we can avoid it from the dharma practice as a avoiding from the mistaken path is you must concentrate on this for dharma. So what is the four dharma? Is a meditation on the precious human body, meditation on the impermanent, meditation on the karma, meditation on the falls of samsara. So this four subject is called the four dharma. So what is the meditation on the precious human body? Some people think, how I can meditate? What is to visualize? Meditation on the precious human body means that you have to understand that what is the value of the human. Why is this precious? So when you understand the true value of the human being, then you will use that value. So also by understanding of the preciousness of ourselves, will gain some degree of confidence on our practice of dharma. So otherwise, lots of time people have this kind of a discouragement about, oh, I'm not good enough, I cannot do this one, I'm not perfect. Yeah, so lots of time we really doubt ourselves. We feel like we're not good enough. I think I'm not good enough, I cannot do this one. So we have this what can call discouragement.
Yeah, discouragement, lack of motivation.
Yeah, so that has happened because we're not recognizing our own preciousness. So once we recognize it, or once we understand how precious we are, then we gain some degree of confidence. So from that confidence too, then you will practice dharma. So that reason must understand the precious human life, why it's called a precious, and how it become a precious, what it means the precious. So if you don't understand the actual truly preciousness and just say the human is precious, then you may think, or just being born in the human, you become a precious. Just being born in the human, no one become a precious. No matter how important that person is, he died, family or organization or monastery, or they pay lots of money to get rid of their body. So that reason, the body have not that much preciousness, except some really high lama. Then they try to keep their body because the devoter think that's so wonderful, Other than that, I mean, ordinary like us, our body is nothing precious, physical body itself is. But there's some kind of quality with this physical body, some kind of ability with this physical body, some kind of capacity. Yeah, so that is the preciousness. So we must understand that preciousness. So once you understood that preciousness, then that is what it means the meditation on the precious human body. So then second one is no matter how preciousness you have, it's impermanent. There nothing will be forever. No one can keep, no matter how they're skillful, no matter how they're rich, no matter how they're powerful, no one can keep those qualities for forever. Sooner or later have to die, have to leave. So that way, impermanent will come. With thinking or not thinking, willing or not willing, wishing or not wishing, it comes. It's just nature. So that way we must try to understand the impermanent. Lots of people don't want to think about the death, for example. Think that is really kind of like a wrongfully thinking, depression and this and that. But I think if you think about your time limited, yeah, like time of living as a limited, you will use that limited of time wisely. You're not going to waste that time. If you think, you have forever, then you're going to waste all the time. So truth is our living life of the timing have a limited. We don't have unlimited livelihood. Our life is have a limited. This is true. So must use that, meaningfully. Like a when we're going to do somewhere, when we're going to go somewhere, and you have only like packing time is only 1 hour, then that 1 hour you're not going to watch TV, or you're not going to play with your phone or anything. You will really, one pointedly thought of you pack, until your packing is completely finished. You will not do anything else. So we need a pack, because we're leaving from this life sooner or later. So if we will not pack, we will leave empty hand. So what is the packing? Is just do much as we can practice Dharma. Not just only this reason we have to meditate on the impermanent. Meditation on the impermanent is also preliminary practice of the realization of emptiness. If you understand the impermanent, you will understand the emptiness. If you don't understand the impermanent, difficulty to understand emptiness, then people go to actually, nihilism. Got the empty as a nihilism. So then it's actually not good. So that way, try to understand the impermanent. It's sooner or later we have to leave. Then third one is some people may think, oh, it's impermanent. Okay, again I will reborn. But if we have a choice, if we have our own power of making decision to where we want born, then even death comes, no problem. But our, rebirth is a choice by the karma, not by the ourselves. So whatever we created karma, good or bad, by that one give us a result of the rebirth. We do all the bad karma and hoping to be reborn in the higher realm or good rebirth is impossible. So karma is the controlling our rebirth. So we don't have choice. It's called the karmic wind. So our conscious is like a feather. Cannot gains, cannot gain the direction of the wind. Blow away wherever wind direction is. Same way, our consciousness is like a feather. Wind of karma will take wherever they blow that direction. So that way, so I think earlier we already mentioned this one in the intermediate state, Bardo, and our consciousness is like I said, karmic wind is power. So that way, karma is the main, power to take us where we're going to reborn. And even reborn by karma anywhere in the even higher realm or anywhere, actually truly in the samsara, there's no really true happiness. So false of samsara mean that you're not going to find true happiness in the samsara. We always think, like other people life is much happier than ourselves. So in America, it's called the other side of the grass is greener. That's not true. Everyone have some their own problem. Normally, human being think, if long as you have a good house, good job, good money, then you will be happy. Yes, you don't have a suffering of a lack of food, clothes, place to worrying and this and that, but same time you have another degree of suffering. So the reason lots of famous people, using drug, they have to rely on the drug to, get some. I heard Michael Jackson when he was alive, he was begging to maybe give him some drug to can sleep 1 hour. So they try to rely on those substance to try to find some just little peace. For us, we don't need a drug. We can sleep like 8, 9, 10 hours without any, so that is showing us we may not have like a luxury like was him, but still we have good night's sleep. So everybody have some degree of true happiness, but still they are always be treasured by some kind of suffering. So overall, in the samsara, you're not going to find true happiness. Right? This is a part of the samsara. So it's just like a saying, if your house is caught on the fire and you trapped inside that house, you have no time to relax or take nap or joy. You try to be escape from that as fast as you can, or you fall down. There's a hole full of poisonous snake. You're not going to rest there. You just fast as you can try to run. So samsara is like that, no different than that. So that way, so these four actually, and if we truly understand these four, then our practices become authentic practice. Even just one recitation of a mantra become a true practice. So that reason saying is these four preliminary are like the foundation of the building. So if a building's foundation is not good, rest of building is a fall down. Like I saw one in China, whole building is a completely fall down because the foundation they didn't do well. So that was whole building completely fall apart. I mean, rest of building is still kind of like holding together, but completely on the ground because of the foundation broke. So if a foundation is not good, rest of practice is never become, authentic. So that way, so four dharma is like foundation of the building. Without this foundation of the four dharma, nothing can be perfect. It means the body, without the good foundation, body not stable. Same way, without the four this dharma, our rest of practice is not become a perfection. So perfection, this one, perfection mean without the mistaking. Yeah, perfection means there's something that not mistaking. So if we practice without this one, then as earlier I mentioned, our dharma is to go to the mistaking path, wrong direction. So that is called the eight-wali concern in the normally. So therefore, cherishing persistent recollection. So it means that really cherish on this. How to cherish this is a persistent recollection. That is what is cherishing. Always remember this. By remembering this old time, these four subjects, precious human body, impermanent, karma, false of samsara, then especially when actually come to the karma, the Lobji Sungun have this advice, this one teaching there said, when our life, something happened good, we give the credit to the Lama or deity or someone. When something misery is come in our life, we blame to someone. Someone did this one. That is, he said, that is the kind of like a not believing in the karma. That way you have a wrong view. That is, he count as a wrong view. So if we don't have good karma, Lama or deity, no one can do anything. So if we have a good karma, no one can take away from us anything. Like I mean, you can see this one. Lots of teaching explain that there's a great benefit come from those teaching practice. Like one example is what call this Zambala. People love practicing Zambala, yeah. So they said, oh, you recite the Zambala practice, you will become really rich. You try that one. I mean, you should try that one. Every day try to recite the Zambala practice, how rich you become. So if truly without any of your good merit, Zambala can make you rich, that means that you don't have to believe on the karma. So without our own merit, Zambala or anyone cannot do anything. There's I think, Hindu story. I think Shiva, Shiva or one of the god. Hindu, they believe that is, creator of the all this planet. And one day his wife requires him, Lord, you are the creator of all this planet, and including sentient beings. There are so many poor ones. You should help them, make them rich, make them happy. And he said, when they come to their karma, I cannot do anything. If you don't believe it, I will show you. There's on the path, one really poor one walking on the path. So, and he manifests a really gold bar on the road. He manifests on the gold bar and gold, and said, look, now you watch. He said his wife. And that guy is walking on the road, and he thought, oh, I'm poor, I have no one. If I become blind, how will I walk? I will test myself. He closed his eyes, he walked until the goal is passed. Then he thought, I'm not that bad. So the point is, because of that reason, he couldn't see and Shiva said, I think Vishnu said, look, if I give him gold, if he have no good karma, he cannot receive this one. So that way, I mean, so karma is, I think thinking about the karma is one thing. Is if we have something good, we will appreciate on our good deed. If we something happening bad, we will be careful to make sure that purified all those negative what we have done. Other than just always blaming to someone else. So I think these things help us to also temporarily kind of like a little bit more peaceful mind. And of course, long-termly, it can really helpful for our Dharma practice. So this reason, this four is for important in the Kagyupa tradition. Basically, we said what called this preliminary practice are more profound than actually practice, which is mean the profound as mean saying more important than just concentrating on the actually practice. So Buddha said in the sutra, what is the greatest footprint? It's the elephant footprint. They are no bigger than elephant footprint in the living creature. Okay, they are no bigger footprint than elephant. He said, same perception. Yeah, can say perception or cognition of the mind is the greatest cognition or perception of the mind is meditating on the impermanent. There are no other greater than thinking about the impermanent. Okay. Number 31. The supreme place of the solitude is like well guarded for engaging in the eight worldly concern, cause you to be distracted and devoted. Therefore, keep in the mountain in a retreat. This is my hard advice. So I think like we understand the fortune of the mind, for Dharma, for preliminary practice. We understand. But constantly our mind is distracted. We couldn't keep that in our thought, and we couldn't follow with those teachings. Why? Because we always have a distraction around us. That distraction is disturbed our continuing of that for thought. So we receive one-time teaching, we will remember maybe a few days or a little while, and after that it becomes normal again. How it become a normal again? Because of our mind is distracted by the surrounding conditions. So the reason for the newer practitioner, can say new practitioner, it's better to do practice as the place there's have a less distraction. So whereas the less distraction is it a solitude. Solitude means like a daytime, no distraction from the human, and nighttime, no danger from the savage animals. Or also that place is not have a much danger for your life or health from the environmentally. So you have to find a place that is suitable to can stay there long time, and at the same time have not much distraction. So you may think why those great yogi they choose as a stay on the channel ground, because in the channel ground they can find the easily food. People come, they worship for their ancestor. When they worship the ancestor ancient time, they bring the food and live there. So those yogi have a free food there. That reason they choose those places. So easy to provide food. Like when Milarewa was traveling here, there in the mountain, one place he found a really good place that have good cave. And at the same time, also there's lots of nettle. So he said, oh, this is a good place to do retreat. So he ate the nettle 9 years. And even his body become a green color like a nettle. So that is how they choosing to, you cannot neglect completely your necessity like food and things. You need those, protect, but same time, make sure run away from the distraction. So this is a good example. It's a Milarewa's life. He was doing retreat in this place, and then some hunter comes, he kind of giving some teaching to them, and then slowly people knowing him, and more people come to visit her. He ran away from there. He moved to different place. So that is how he trained completely himself until have a gain of a stability of his practice. Once he gained the stability, then he have a more follower, more disciples, and he also travel more in the town area. They're closer to the people, and he giving teachings and this. So that reason from the beginner practitioner, actually, if you stay in the less distracted area, quiet place, is a more easier to practice than try to do with a noisy area. But once you become a more, capable to train your mind, stability of your practice, then you can just do anywhere. Doesn't matter you do in the marketplace or you do on the retreat. In the cave, solitude cave is the same. But until we reach to the stability of our mind, then we need a better place, suitable place. So what is the suitable place? It's a solitude, like a mountain or retreat area that have no distraction of a human contact, less distraction. So it is like a well-guarded fort. So like a, king, if they have a palace, they need a really good guard. They build a wall around that town. Ancient time, every city have a wall. So that similarly, the wall of the protection for the palace is the mountain retreat, solitude retreat.
That's called fortification.
Okay.
Fortification.
So the reason our body or ourself is the palace, yeah. And the retreat is the like a really solid guard. Can say
Fortification.
fortification.
Yeah.
Okay, fortification. So that is a from what when the city is you put the wall guard from the enemies. So Dharma practitioners true enemy. What is the really enemy? Is not someone who harm you, someone who give you physical pain. More our most truly enemy is the eight worldly concern. That is a true destruction of the Dharma practice. So we are guarding from the engaging on the eight worldly concern. So why we have to avoid from the eight worldly concern? Because that is give you true destruction of the practice. So then we're so busy to try to make the fame, try to avoid all those criticism and try to gain wealth, power, name, all those, and try to, try to make sure to protect your reputation. So busy of doing those things, we have no time to practice Dharma actually. When we are, our mind, ourselves is really busy in try to protecting wealth, position, name, yeah, then we really truly have no practice of that, practice, no time to practice the Dharma. So that reason we waste our time of a life by worrying or protecting this condition to this kind of a situation to then it become a distraction to the practice of the Dharma. So you see some, like we call the yogi. Sometimes people think the yogi mean the just crazy one, like a Duboguli, they don't care. They have no concern about what other things. They really don't care what other things. Other may think they are great, truly highly realized practitioner, or other may think they are rude, or other may think they are crazy. It doesn't matter for that, for them, true practitioner. So they're not bothering to them. Why? Because they don't care about the eight worldly concern. But we, a lot of us, We care so much about the, our reputation, and try to be best behavior, especially around the people, best behavior, try to build our reputation name, and make sure that people think you are really wonderful person, wonderful kindness, compassionate, this and that. So our life is really too busy to try to protecting the reputation and name, and not have much time to practice the Dharma. So that is actually true, destruction of the truth, the practice Dharma, true authentic practice Dharma is a destruction, is come from there. Try to protecting the reputation, wealth, position, name, fame. So then we couldn't practice Dharma actually. Because why you couldn't practice Dharma? Because your life is controlled by someone else now. Your life is controlled by the other's eyes. So you don't have actually true freedom to think, feel, do. So you're become a really truly slave of other. So that is causing us. And also this early concern is actually increasing our negative emotions. So I think there's a reason those are become a most destruction, or devote, D-R-V, devoted.
Devoted or diverted?
Devote, D-I-V-E-R-T.
Divert.
So it means that kind of like always a concern for the others. Make sense? Like worry about the what other think, what other say. So I think lots of, I think this sometimes we have this idea of when come to the Dharma practitioner, when they have a problem like a physical sickness, or people criticizing on them, or their reputation is really bad, or this and that. Sometimes we think those are the obstacle for the Dharma practice. Yeah, we always think something that is really not good or this, but true actually distraction is not come from there. True distraction is come from our own emotion, how we feel, So this it is those concerned is come from our attached to the gain, and sad for the losing, So that reason actually we can be free from the outside distraction. Like you can go to the mountain retreat. When you go to hide on the mountain, you don't have to worry about the outside problem. But that's not good enough if our mind is not really controlled with a negative emotion. So Khenpo said, if just living on the solitude place is good enough, then all the wild animal can become a complete liberation. They can be good retreater. So just being in the wild place is not good enough. So we have to protect our emotion, really mainly. So this really concern is come from the emotion, not from the outside. So we created this. So that way you need to really kind of free from the concern. I mean, there's two kind of people, okay, free from concern. Some really, they don't care anyone else. They do all the crazy things. Undisciplined, yeah? There's some, they really don't care what other judge or say, long as yourself is really pure. Long as yourself is clean, then you don't care what others say or do. So Dharma practitioner need the second kind of people. You have to, see clearly who you are, what you do, how you think, as a really try to keep the much pure and positive, then don't worry about the other, what they think. So free from a concern, I think there's a two kind of, we don't want to be first kind of free from concern who do, whatever they want and without worrying of consequences or anything. The precious teaching of the Digun Gaju, which are like the treasure of the kings, of our king, like nothing of the holy Dharma, there is no need to be depend on anything else. This is my heart's advice. So first is what is the precious teaching of the Digun Gaju? What does the Digun Gaju mean? What does the lineage mean? Like we said, oh, I'm Digun Gaju, I'm a Nima, I'm Ksaja, I'm Kilu, and this is, But what make you Digun Gaju? Not just because you are belong to that society, not just because you are belong to that community, not just because you are part of the some kind of organization. I don't think so. It make you Digun Gaju or any lineage. The people call I'm this and this lineage. Lineage means the path. Yeah. It means the path. The path, what is the path? You have to know. In the Buddhism, in the path mean the view, meditation, and contact. View as what you thinking, what is really true, can say, how you viewing. So in the Digun Gaju, or maybe I can say most of Gaju, it's called the view as a Mahamudra. So you have to know what is the Mahamudra for becoming Digun Gaju. Then path is called the six yoga of Naropa. It means how you can realize the Mahamudra through the meditation. Yeah, that view, how to actualize, how to accomplishing that view of the Mahamudra is through the meditation. So that we call the meditation as a six yoga of Naropa. Then that meditation need a support. Some contact means the support, kind of a favorable condition to meditate. If you don't have that favorable condition, you cannot meditate continually. In the Digun tradition, it's called the favorable condition, is called the inseparable of the three vows, Vinaya vows, Bodhicitta vows, and Tantra vows. They are inseparable. Or you can say three vows are what called single essential point. Yeah, three vows as a single essential point as a contact. So this is the complete path. So any lineage, if you want to complete path, you need those three. You have to learn what is the view of this lineage. What is the meditation? How I can gain that view? How I can accomplishing through what kind of meditation or what kind of practice? That's called that. So in the generally Gaju and specifically Digun Gaju is view as a Mahamudra, meditation as a six yoga of Naropa, and contact as a essential, one single essential point of the three vows. So then you can say, I'm Digun Gaju. So that way, some people ask him into what your lineage. I said, I'm not sure, because my view is not really sure what is I understood or not, or the truly what does Mahamudra mean, and I'm not sure I can practicing that one is really truly with the six yoga of Naropa or meditation. And so I mean, this reason is really difficult to say what is Digun Gaju, what is Nima, what is Saja, what is Gilu, what is Jona, what is all those lineage. This you need to know those three: view, meditation, contact. Then you have the path. Once you reach that path, once you have that path, you don't need other path to support for this, because each individual have all complete. In the Buddhism, each teaching must have everything. All other as a part of that teachings. This reason, what is saying is, if you want to become a complete Buddhahood, truly want to become a complete Buddhahood, you can find complete path within the Digunga tradition. You don't need to add from here, there, from there, a little bit there, to, because it's not saying it's don't study other lineage. You have to start other lineage much as you can. There is no restriction. But when you try to follow into the actual path, should follow to the one path. For example, from the US East Coast to go to the West Coast, there's a 3 major roads. Yeah, one is go to the most like Florida, Texas, and southern area. To, I think it's called the Route 40. One is go middle of the US. Through the Tennessee, I think go through the Alabama, Tennessee, that there's a middle of the US, direct to the California, and one is go to the north of US, like I think like Chicago, Minnesota, that area. There's one major route to reach to the west. So if you try to go to from one route and halfway come back and try to go, you're a really idiot. If you try to do that one. Just choose one route and continue to go, you will get there. Doesn't matter which one. This is not saying it's only you have to learn Digun and don't do anything else. This is not talking about. Because these days, lots of people call the non-sectarian. They have their own identity and said non-sectarian. You are nothingness, actually. You have no true path. Non-sectarian means that you have your own identity. Within your own identity, you know others, you accept others, you respect others. That's called the non-sectarians. Just whatever you find the path karmically, you have a connection, follow with that. So you don't need to, if you want to become a Digungaji practitioner, you don't need to extra support for becoming complete path from the Nima, Saja, Gilu, anything. Within the Digungaji itself have a complete path. If you can practice, there's no question for that. Great example is Lord Jitasunga. Then there are all the great masters came, many of them. And some may say, oh, no, Digunga, you have also other teachings. So it's not saying is that we need to learn the Yangsa, we don't need to learn Yangsa. So they're teaching in the Digunga, but still those practitioners, they have their own main path. Without losing their own main path, then they know other things too. Make sense? That is no problem. Knowing or other is no problem. But you switching, to try to do a little bit here, try to do a little bit there, then mixture about everything, and it's become a stew. I think it's not really healthy practice. So just choose one line. And when, I was in the Samye one time, studying Samye, there's one called the mountain called the Hepori. That mountain is the top of the mountain is a temple. So that mountain can go to any direction from any part of the area, for all 4 directions can climb on that mountain, top of the mountain. So our teacher said, those 4 paths are same as a 4 lineage in the Tibetan. Nyima, Kagyu, Saja, Gilu. Just follow one path, you will reach there. When you reach there, all reach the same place, the top of the mountain. If you go to halfway, come back, try to go from other one halfway, come back, you will never reach there. So I think that reason here, what's saying is not talking about that don't study other, too narrow mind. It's not, this is not trying to make the narrow mind. What he's saying is if you truly want to find the path, just try to understand the complete of one tradition. From that complete of understand one tradition, you will find the really complete path without relying on other tradition. So this is like King's treasure house. King's treasure house pretty much put everything there, keep everything there. So that way there are nothing lacking. So in the we call the Jishi Kundul. In the Sajja teaching also lots of time they use as a Jishi Kundul. It means knowing one and liberate from everything. It means that by knowing you know one really well, that you know everything really well. If you know Digunga, you really truly the lineage, complete lineage, you will know what is Sajja, what is Gilu, what is Nyima, what is the other traditions. If you don't know one lineage completely, then you know nothing actually. Only know a little bit, but not knowing really what called deeply, yeah. Not knowing truly. So this one is basically saying is when you choose one lineage, stick with that to continue until you reach to the liberation. You don't need to switch here, there, because then, yeah, so it is also not necessary. Or one lineage, you don't need to add from other lineage. Because why not need to add? Because those lineages become, because by practice of those great master, and they totally liberated from those practice by that practice. That way, this lineage is become. Otherwise, there's no point about how can we become a lineage. So this is saying is every single lineage have a complete path. When you follow to the Nyima tradition have a complete path. When you follow to the Kagyu tradition have a complete path. When you follow to the Sajja tradition have a complete path. When you follow to the Gilu tradition have a complete path. Each lineage have their own complete path. If you can follow, if you cannot follow, it doesn't matter. All lineage you try to follow, you're not going to gain the complete path. Chanchu sem cho Rinpoche ma je pa na je jo je pa nyam ba mem ba ya kone kondo pe wo sho tada konde tam je tu sondo sabana yebe jebe zawandi Tata Sinje Tanje Nyundo Lana Memba Yandaba Sobe Janjo Rinpoche Toba Joje Shija Kunse Kunje Joje Tende Nela Wando Rinjembe Temba Sede Bashetu Tosan Gomben Zenjo